Hey guys, what's up? Austin here, aka Boatside Guy 97. Today we're going to do a video and more of like an overview about my 2.5-inch rough country leveling kit on my 2004 Chevy Silverado. What we're going to go over today is pretty much going to apply to any 99 through 07 classic Silverado, Sierra with four-wheel drive, and I say four-wheel drive because torsion keys in the front, not the coil springs. But the rear would be about the same. So today we're going to talk about ride height, the pros and the cons of the kit, how I've liked it. I've owned it for about 2 years, so I've got a little bit of a owner's perspective on it for those of you thinking about getting it for your truck. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, the truck has got a pretty good height on it. It's also got 33-inch tall tires under it. Those are Open Country, Toyo Open Country MT 33 12.5 on a 20-inch rim. The kit itself is very easy to install. As long as you've got jack stands and some of the right tools, go down to your local Vance Auto Parts, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, rent you a torsion bar tool. It would take you no more than about an hour and a half to put it in. This kit comes with the torsion bar keys, the rear blocks, and shocks all around. It's Rough Country's, I guess, whatever their baseline of shock is, they send with the kit. I think it's like $200, I believe, is what it cost me to get the kit for this truck, and I did the work myself, so no labor costs involved with that. So let's talk about the ride height and the benefits of the kit. Benefits of the kit: the truck looks great. Ride height is really nice. It's not, too tall. I think it's just right for a truck. Pull out a tape measure here and let's take a look at what we're working with inch-wise. Now, this kit is not as high as it could be in the front. I do not have the keys turned all the way up in the front of this truck. It's not good to turn them up anyway. You're putting a lot of stress on the front end, upper control arms, ball joints, all of it. CV axles. So if you have them cranked all the way up, that's your risk. I think I got probably about a 1/4 inch left to go in the front. I will not go any taller than this with the keys. So now, front ride height, as you can see there, would be about 20 inches there and abouts there from the bottom of the body. And if we're talking about from the fender, it's about 40 inches dead on from the center of the fender down to the ground. Front end is definitely going to be the lowest part. I think down there at the bottom of that diffuser, you're looking at about 19 inches. So a good bit of ground clearance, and of course you can factor in the components underneath the truck like the cross member, rear axle, and all that hang lower than that, but that's just noticeable clearance from the body. You go back here in the back, which sits a little taller than the front, and I think we are at about 22, 23 inches there. So that's pretty good ride height for a leveling kit on a truck. You want more, of course, you got to go to 4-inch or a 6-inch kit, and that's all they offer from Rough Country for this truck. I know the newer body Silverados, I think you can get like a 3.5. But that's all you're going to get with torsion bars in the front. You go to a 4-inch or a 6-inch, you'll have to do the torsion bar. Well, nowadays it's not a torsion bar drop, but you got some cutting, some modification to do, and of course it's $1,000 to get either one of those kits from Rough Country. And then you go to Zone, BDS, and you're looking $1,900, almost $2,000, and that doesn't include labor if you have somebody install it. Another benefit of having this kit on here is you can run a 33-inch tall tire with some offset. These are a 20x10 -19 offset fuel wheel on a 33 12.5 20 tire. So that's 33 inches tall, 12.5 inches wide with -19 offset, which is going to bring it out just a little bit. And I had -24 on here before. If you go back into my channel, you'll see a video of this truck. Looked a lot different than this, but it had -24 offset 20x10s on it, but the tires were not this big. Now, only thing I've had to do, trim this bottom bumper a little bit of cutting back there in the back of the plastic. I need to do just a little bit more with these tires. Still got a little bit of scrubbing, but it's no major modification. to try to fit 33s on a leveling kit on this truck. You're not going to have to cut in the metal. You're not going to have to take the whole fender liner out. Nothing crazy like that. So that's a pretty good deal to be able to fit good looking size tire with height and some offset on just a $200 leveling kit. Let's talk about the cons of this kit. And I have, for the past year and a half, I definitely have an idea of the cons of having a lifted truck. And of course, this is just about go for any kit you do, but we're going to talk specifically about this leveling kit. Where they are cranked right now, and then I just returned it to the height it's at now. When you crank the keys up a good bit, getting close to as far as you can crank them, your upper control arm is going to hit the frame bracket. When the tires slide down, go through a hard turn, hit a deep hole, something like that, you get a vibration in the steering. You'll feel it in the truck. And I was informed after trying to align the truck that it was hitting that frame mount, and I had to crank the keys down. They were able then to align it, and it didn't have any more problems. I had put, about a month ago, different control arms on it, which added 2 extra degrees of camber, and it has solved that issue. I was able to crank the keys back up and get it aligned. It's not a problem. So keep that in mind. Stock upper control arms, if you're going to crank those keys all the way up, know that you may be hitting that frame mount with that control arm. If you're going through a turn pretty quick, you go in a big hole, and they may not be able to align it. And of course, if they do align it, you got to think that hitting on that frame mount's going to knock it out. So there's one con. Another con is CV axles. The angle these CV axles are at are not that great. And I'll get under here so you can kind of see there. That is a pretty gnarly angle coming up from the top. And you can see that boot is ripped, and that is what we are getting ready to talk about. Because that axle is at that kind of angle, it has caused that boot to rip. You got to think those boots are spinning. Those CV axles are spinning the entire time you're driving this truck. You hit bumps, you go up through a ditch, you take it off-road, and whatever you do with it, those axles are going to flex with that suspension. You're going to be stretching out those boots, and with the angle that they're at right now with this kit, it's tore those boots. So I have not, those boots have been torn for a little while, and I've really got to get it fixed. You can throw a new boot on, and you can look at doing a different axle aftermarket. I know Cognito offers the control arms that solve the problem we were just talking about with the upper control arms. As far as axles go, I don't know any type of solution to that. I'm sure they're out there, but nothing that I've looked into yet. I haven't had a problem with the CV axles. It's not like they've broke with this kit, but the boots being ripped is kind of an issue. Get all that road grime, dirt, mud, sand, wherever you live, wherever you're taking your truck, all that's going to get up underneath of it, get inside those joints in that axle and wear them out. Ride quality and ride comfort. Definitely rides stiffer. The rear ride's the same. I mean, you're just throwing blocks underneath the rear of the truck. You're not altering really much in the rear other than bringing the rear end up another inch and a half with this kit. The rear ride's about the same, but the front, which is where you're sitting anyway, definitely rides a little bit stiffer. But you got to think, you're throwing those bigger keys under there. You're making those bars a little tighter. You're stiffening up the front suspension. You're throwing those different shocks on it. You're going to get a stiffer ride. Now, you crank the keys down. Don't crank them up as high as I've got it here. Throw a little bit of, not a mud tire on here, kind of throw an economy tire like a Michelin LTX, Goodyear, something like that. You probably ride okay. But if you're looking to get the kind of height that we've got going on right here, you're going to have a little bit of a stiff ride. It's not knocking your teeth out by any means. It's not unbearable. It's just definitely stiffer than stock, and you definitely notice it. That's about it for the pros and cons. The kit's held up great. I haven't had really any problems with it. No issues with the keys, the components, the shocks, none of that. And I've had the truck off-road. I pull trailers with the truck, daily drive the truck. Not had an issue with it. So I think overall the leveling kit's pretty good. If you're set on getting a little bit of height out of the truck, leveling kits, you're not going to go wrong with it. If it's going to bother you to have those kind of issues with the ride quality and the upper control arms and all that, don't do it. If you do like a 4-inch or a 6-inch, you get new upper control arms, you get the axle spacers, I mean the differential drop, excuse me. And you shouldn't have that kind of issue. But if you don't want that kind of height, you don't want to shell out the money, leveling kit's the way to go. So that's about all I got for you today. I just wanted to go over kind of my experience with this kit and pros and cons about it, overview and ride height. So if you're stuck on the numbers, we came in, you know, about 20 inches in the front. We were about 22 in the rear. I'll go back in the video and throw that in if I'm wrong. So that's a pretty good ride height. You're definitely not going to get hung up on anything unless you're going extreme with this truck. Now, keep in mind those numbers. This is a 33-inch tall tire. That's a bigger tire than stock. So if you're still running a stock tire size, that might be an inch or two lower than what I just showed you with the tape measure. So keep that in mind. Or if you run a bigger tire than this, your height will be taller. That gives you a general idea. I hope this video helped you out if you're looking or trying to decide on whether to do this kit or not. Rough Country's a good kit. I know there's other kits out there. Price around. Do your research before you buy it. If you're planning to keep the truck, definitely do your research first. Weigh your options and go from there with it. But I don't think you're going to go too wrong doing a leveling kit on it, especially if you're going to want to put different wheels and tires on it. So I appreciate you watching. If you're stopping in for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We got some other videos of this truck up on the channel. Check those out. We'll be making some more. Hit that like button. Have a great day.